So that's good. One, two, three. Rumble. So, hi and welcome everybody to Monthly Monday. I start to let people in. If you want to reach out or want to join the room, please feel free to register to Monthly Monday. Here we go. Hi and welcome to Monthly Monday. New faces I haven't seen, and faces I know already. So before we start, it's the first Monday of the month. My name is Matt. I'm the founder of Somatic Consent and the Somatic Consent Academy. And today is the first Monday per month. By the way, can you hear me good? Yeah, good. It's the first Monday per month, and that's open and free to everybody just to check in and having a look who I am, what somatic consent is, what we do. We do this in English. It is very international, so there are people sometimes from different angles of the world. And we do that interactive. This call is recorded from my side, not that what you say or what you do. So nobody will see you. But what I say and what I do is recorded for people who want to have a look afterwards. We go through a little check-in, we do a little meditation, and then some people bring some questions or some other topics, so we just chew on them from the perspective of somatic consent. And I would like to start with a little check-in. Maybe I start. So again, my name is Matt. I just had a beautiful walk outside in nature. So the spring in Sweden is really awesome when it's awesome. And today is one of these days. It's clean, crisp, and clear. And my heart is beating a little bit faster. I feel always a little bit nervous when there are people I haven't seen before. And it always helps me when I say, oh my God, I'm nervous. And but excited to see you guys and guide you through this evening. So please feel free to unmute yourself and whatever you want to say to check in, how you feel, your name, where you are in the world, just a few sentences to just land here. So whatever you want to say. Who would like to start? And it's optional. Okay, Rickard. Go for it.
I just landed in Sweden after having traveled in Kenya. That feels really good. It feels like I start to see a little bit where I'm going, and that feels really, really good.
Mm.
I know where I am and I know where I'm going.
Good to see you. Thanks for joining today. Please, you were next, Silke, when I see that right.
Yeah, I'm Silke. I'm a German living in Denmark. And I also really enjoy the wonderful springtime. I am very curious about this happening today because I do not really know what it is. I make some somatic works with the body, and I'm looking forward to see what you offer.
All right, very welcome. Thanks for joining.
Mm.
I'll introduce myself. My name's Martin. It's my first time here. Hello, everybody. I spontaneously reached out because this morning I read your message about being, I can't remember the exact words you used, but something like addicted to
Horniness.
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 And it got me looking at my situation, and I read it slightly differently, that actually my nervous system is addicted to arousal. But it isn't just horniness, it's arousal from electromagnetic fields, it's arousal from sonic transmissions. It's everything that gets my system ramped up, because it's been living that way for so long, it just doesn't know anything else. So even though it's killing it keeps reaching out for it. So that's the reason I came along tonight. How am I feeling? I don't know, I've got a lot of pressure in my head at the moment, a bit edgy, fed up. Physically, I'm in Madeira at the moment, and I don't really want to be here anymore. And that's it. I can sense this is going to turn into a moaning session, so I'm going to stop now. Anyway.
All is welcome. Just moan as much as you like. Okay, who would like to go next? By the way, Davide, I just made you a co-host for the case something is just going wrong here. You take over.
So I'm going. Very strong day. After I've led 21 day of abundance meditation through WhatsApp, I had a big realization about me and myself, and yeah, I'm quite
You're welcome with your fucked upness. It's okay.
and yeah, then I felt Desperated, I felt, now I'm quite okay, but I felt desperated, without hope, needed help to go out of my pleaser system,
Mm.
and I saw the situation clearly, maybe more clearly than in the past, and I cannot go forward in this way. Checking.
Mm. Curious to hear more. Thanks for sharing.
So then I like to start. I'm Marco. I'm located in Germany, in the north of Germany, near to the coast of the North Sea, and yeah, it was a little bit spontaneous to join this meeting. I get the information and invitation from a friend, and I'm owner of different companies, and yeah, at the moment really stressed for the last weeks and months, and health condition gets worse and worse, and so I have to change some things in my mind and also in my life, and so yeah, I like to join the journey here.
Mm. Thanks and welcome with your stressness, and see if we can show you some tricks here today.
That will be fine.
Okay. Want to go next?
Yeah, hello. I'm in Norway, and it's much sun today, so yeah, I was a little bit yeah, too much sun and also cold, but now I'm warming up and get some food, so now I start to get normal again.
Mm. Welcome, Hildegun. Last but not least, Christoph.
I am the last one. Okay. Hi, everybody. Yeah, so I had the last month, like from middle February to today, for 2 weeks ago. I had like a horror scenario, like living in fears, living with whatever, what you don't want to live with. And somehow I went on some routes last week to my first place in Germany, met some friends, and did unlock some very interesting things. Yesterday I did a breath work myself. I produced it myself, and I did it to myself, with myself. And it was about going back to my true self, just after being born. And since yesterday, I have like this new energy, this new optimistic thing that I didn't have the last, I would say, 20 years. And it's like kind of magic. I like it a lot. I love it.
Mm.
I hope it will stay like this, full of joy, full of optimism and lightness, and yeah, almost feel like a little bit high, I have to say, but I didn't take any drug or alcohol or whatever.
Natural high.
Yeah, a little high.
Perfect.
You know me, it's a bit different today. I like it.
All right, welcome, Christopher. So a few more words. What is Somatic Consent? What is Somatic Consent Academy? So I have been a student of different modalities over the last 25 years. Originally, my first education, it was a car mechanic, and then I studied architecture, and then I went in the beginning of 2010 in the professional line of facilitation and bodywork. So I became a de-armoring practitioner. I learned everything about the nervous system that is out there, polyvagal theory, any kind of trauma-informed approaches when it comes to bodywork and connection. I published a book that calls Orgasmic Blueprint. You can see it better, it's a little bit too bright. You can get it on my webpage, or you can get it as well as a PDF downloadable on my webpage. It's a free version, the audiobook on Spotify and on YouTube. So research that Orgasmic Blueprint, you will probably find it. And the Somatic Consent Academy is literally a closed platform away from kind of busy social media like Facebook and so on. There's no advertising or algorithm or anything else, and there are living some online courses for individual, for couples, and for intimacy professionals. And I have been a student from Betty Martin and the Wheel of Consent for about 6 years, and then in 2020 I developed my own structure because I saw the shortcoming of the consent work and it needed an upgrade from a different perspective, and that's what I provided. That said, this is the monthly Monday, but there is in the Academy every Monday at the same time a 90-minute call where we dive into these structures and dynamics, how to use it in your life, in your relationship, in your profession. You can come with any theme that is related to this work. Is a really strong background. I just talk more about that. But before I go too much into details and theory, I would like to give you an experience. Yeah. Okay, that takes about 10 minutes or so. My invitation is for you to get relaxed, lean back, take something in your hands. I just change my camera here a little bit. And whatever that is, I have here a piece of wood in my hand. Lean back, I lean forward. I have my elbows here on the table. But the important piece is that your spine is relaxed, your shoulders are relaxed, so that there is no work, it's nothing to achieve. And when you make connection with that object in your hands, it's a little bit, I call it a hand meditation. And I will break it down during the meditation and afterwards a little bit more what is happening and why we're doing that and why this is so changing in our nervous system and the way how we see and feel and touch the world. So when you have that in your hands, the first thing is your mind will give it a label and know what to use it for. Yeah, so you know what it is. You know what you can do with it, or you can come up with other ideas what you can do with that. That's all fine. That gives the mind some food and some information so that the mind can be part of that as far as it can. And then I invite you to go a little bit deeper than that. So a little bit deeper on a haptic level. And the haptic level is what's the temperature of that object that you have in your hand. And is it smooth or is it rough? And at any point, if you feel like keeping your eyes open, keep them open. If you want to close them so that you experiment with some different settings in yourself. And you notice, is it heavy or is it light? So the density, is it fragile or is it solid? Is it smooth or rough, sharp? So there are a lot of information that you can collect on a haptic level. And so as I said that we go for about 10 minutes or so, you might come in connection with some feelings or emotions, some boredom or judgment. So everything is welcome that comes up. Just stay with your sensation in your hands, and I guide you slowly into that, how to find it and how it feels. So when you slow down your speed of your movement by half, and you slow it down by half again, and you get really slowly and move with the object over your hand or with the hand over the object, you notice there is kind of a pleasant sensation there. It's a little bit like tingling, electromagnetic, pleasant. And you might find different sensations between your fingers or your fingertips or your palm. Important here is that the slower you go, the more you will feel. So important here is there's nothing to achieve, nowhere to go, nothing to get or nothing to give. It's just feel with your hand over the object and tap into the sensation of this kind of little bit of tinglish, sensual maybe. And whenever your mind is drifting or wandering, bring your attention straight back to the sensation in your hands. As I said before, there's nowhere to go here. There's no goal, nothing to achieve. Just training your little muscle of awareness and sense. And at this point, are you worth it to feel? Are you allowing it to feel? And the invitation is just to give yourself that permission to sense with your hands. There are more nerve endings in your hands than anywhere else on your entire body except your mouth and your genitals. But your hands have a massive part in your brain dedicated to this experience of sensing and feeling. And just notice what is happening when you do that, when you sense, when you feel. And try different things. One hand holding and feeling, or stroking with the hand over the object, or both simultaneously. So it's totally up to you, and you experiment with your set of movement. And again, if you have thoughts coming up or feelings or sensations in your body, that's just natural. Bring your attention and your awareness straight back to your hands. That's the invitation. Feeling, sensing. Just allow your breath to flow. And just feel and sense because you can. And it's not for me or anybody else in the world. It's just you choose an action towards a felt sense in your skin, in your hands. Again, if your mind wanders, that's totally fine. Bring it straight back and train that little muscle of awareness and attention. And if you feel like making a sigh to release, it's totally welcome. Give it a sound if you need to. It doesn't mean anything. It's just either on or off. You just feel it when you move, or you don't. And at this point, I would like to ask you to just notice that you are in action by choice towards the felt sense of pleasure in your hands. So you're moving towards a pleasant sensation in your skin. And whatever that does to your body, just welcome it, allow it. It's all in there. And gently and slowly bring your movement down till they stop. Stay there for a moment and just notice what you notice. Notice within yourself. How does you feel? What's your sensation in your body? Feelings, emotions? Just notice what you notice. And then in your own speed, I invite you to opening up your eyes. Orient yourself somehow, somewhere. And bring your attention back to the screen. Okay, so welcome back. Thank you for your trust, for joining in. This is the core exercise of somatic consent, the foundational exercise. And this has been a life changer for me. And I can tell you a little bit more why that is in a few moments. But now I'm more interested, how was that experience for you? And what is your experience now in your body? How do you feel now compared to how you felt before we started? Or anything that you noticed that is valuable for you to share. Who would like to say a few words?
I would like to share.
Please.
I felt my stomach start talking, and that's a really good sign, because then I relax deeper, and I feel calm in my body and more open. It's I'm more present in myself. It was it was a good exercise for me, because I was a bit stressed before, and now I'm really relaxed. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, to go next.
Please.
I feel peaceful, and I find that I'm happy to, like, when I was like searching a lot spiritually,
I did it from a lot of different like ways to get in touch with myself, and yeah, it's really nice. I just sit here and I touch and I feel. It's really nice with the sensations, and then it's like I get into this very contemplative space where I can like see my thoughts clearly and get ideas. Yeah, it's a nice way to make sure that I'm not triggered,
Mm.
like touching something.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Rickard.
I feel much more relaxed and soft, and yeah, and open.
Thank you, Hildegun.
Yeah, pencil is my new stress ball, and so it was a good exercise to calm down and breathe deep in, and yeah, I feel free, a little bit more free in the evening now. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I like with the hand meditation always the way that you begin with like I'm touching something and oh I forgot to do this email. I need to check that. I need to do so. Blah blah blah. And somehow in the middle of the meditation, there is like I know it's there, but I'm not drifting. And so I'm more focused. I'm more relaxed. I'm more confident also that well it can wait. You know, the world is not going to stop to live because I didn't write an email today. And I like this this way of being centered again, being one unit, you know, and not like whatever. It's kind of nice. It's good.
Thank you, Christoph. Anybody else? David or Martin?
So I was continuing to tap my hand, and some emotion are coming out. So for that I was behind waiting, and I don't feel so much pleasure. I feel the touch. I feel to connect with myself. I just make a comparison with the past, because in the past I was able really go in bliss. I'm not in that place the moment. It helped me just to ground, and like I said, I have multi level of awareness. Can be the touch, can be the mind, and the breath at the same time. Today less the breath. In comparison the past, that I was completely going inside of just the touch, and all the rest was disappearing. I believe that this is good for my path where I'm going now, to have this different level of awareness, and just put 80% on the touch and stay 20 in other things.
Thank you, David. Would you like to share a few words, Martin?
It's very calming. It's a lovely way to bypass my mind for the most part. So simple.
It's so simple.
Yeah, so simple, so effective, so quick. And if you've got anything for tinnitus, this would be the happiest day of my life if you can just sort that out as well.
I have.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the talk.
Yeah. So, why is that the core exercise of somatic consent? I want to share a few words because somatic consent, the entire structure is a system, and the system is based on 4 different dynamics in human engagement. Yeah, and in human engagement, these 4 dynamics, they come from an exercise that calls the 3-minute game. And in the 3-minute game, the four core structures are broken down in this dynamics. Yeah, you are in action for yourself. The other person is in action for themselves. You are in action for the other person, and the other person is in action for you. That's it. That breaks it down. So I've created the somatic consent engagement system around that. But the core dynamic is in the 3-minute game, or in that structure of the 4 different dynamics, is you are in action for yourself. And this exercise, the hand meditation, is breaking this dynamic down. So you were now in action for yourself, so you were feeling. Yeah. And in the 3-minute game, when you play that or when you practice that with another person, you are in action for yourself. The first thing that you need is you need to have permission to do so, that the other person's nervous system kind of knows what's going to come. And then can you be in connection with your senses when you touch and when you feel? Or are you losing yourself in the response of the other person, what is coming back? And these 2 different dynamics breaking this completely open in all human behavior. One more thing about the somatic nervous system. The somatic nervous system, some people think it's pretty complex. Just like to explain it, it's, there are different motors in the brain and different structures, how stuff work. But you can break the nervous system on the somatic level down in 2 different areas. One is you go into an action by impulses. Yeah, hand, arm moves. Yeah, that's the so-called the motor, the action. And the other division is the sensory inflow, so the information from your body into your brain, giving you information. There are different levels of receiving information, but we're going for this very information here with your hands, with the inflow of your skin. And as I said, that we have more nerve ending in our hands than anywhere in our body. We're doing a very complex somatic dynamic. So we are in action by choice towards a felt sense of pleasure, and by being in connection for doing that for 3 to 5 minutes, we self-regulate our nervous system into a place of ease and relaxation. Some of you said, I'm more present, my belly feels more alive, I'm, just like different things coming up. And I want to share why that is. So when you touch something with your hands and you stay with your awareness for about 3 to 5 minutes with the awareness there, you start to release in your brain, in your central brain, oxytocin. Oxytocin is the so-called the love and cuddle hormone. We all need and have oxytocin is a so-called bonding neurotransmitter and hormone. And when you release that in the center of your brain, it is inhibiting, so it's blocking the release of cortisol and adrenaline from your amygdala, from your fight-flight center. So the amygdala is firing about 4 times a second cortisol and adrenaline into your nervous system, into your bloodstream, for one reason: to keep you in alert, just like what's going on here, new people, strangers, just like, oh, different environments, oh my God, money, something is missing, what's going on, I need to work out, or just like there's danger, I need to protect myself. So that we're actually on alert. So when you do that and you start feeling connection, it's a self-regulating dynamic in the nervous system that calms you down and relaxes you. Specifically, when you do that with another person, somebody you are intimate with and you are connected with, and you have that permission, you can touch somebody and just regulate your nervous system. That is when you hug somebody because you're feeling dysregulated, or you need somebody to give you a massage that you feel more connected to your body. So this is what is happening when you release oxytocin, and that's a self-regulating dynamic in the nervous system. So most people, most of us, have not learned to self-regulate because we had all caregivers in our life who had difficulties self-regulating themselves. And if we have not learned to self-regulate from another person who can self-regulate, we learn that these people, mostly when they're dysregulated, they co-regulate themselves with another person. So we tend to co-regulate ourselves rather than going into the right action to self-regulate and bring our nervous system in a state of ease, rest, and relaxation. So most of us, our nervous system runs lifelong on fight, flight, hide, freeze, shutdown, oppression. Yeah. And doing these dynamics that I have just shared, it is a shortcut, is a neurological biohack into recalibrating the nervous system in a state of relaxation and empowerment and alignment. So that was a little bit of theory. I just want to share just a few words what I just found just recently about my addiction to being horny or to arousal. So I have started last Thursday an AA group, so Anonymous Alcoholics for Sex and Love Addicts. And I was always interested because the founder of the 3-minute game, Harry Feddes, he is a recovering alcoholic. He's now in his 80s, and he has kind of practiced that his entire life. He's sober since, I think, 30 years or 40 years or something. But he talked about the 3-minute game and this structure that we just have shared. And the second step of the 12-step program is you need to give your power to a greater power than yourself to save your sanity. Yeah. And so I was just thinking, I was waiting for the right AA group that I can finally start that work, because I was always curious. So now I started last Thursday, and we started with the first question: where in your life have you given your power away? Where are you powerless with your own conditioning, with your own structure, whatever you do? And just this morning, I just recognized it's like a fish swimming in water. You never recognize that there is water. I just recognized I was addicted to horniness my entire life before I could actually think. To arousal, not to climaxing, not to orgasm, not to sex, not to love, just to arousal, to horniness. So my entire tantric path of semen retention, mastering the orgasmic edge and edging, is all based on this behavior. And it's so fascinating to just see it from that perspective, that I have been using sexual energy and sexual arousal as a spiritual pathway into unity. So there's more to say. The structure of having an addiction, because we all have addiction to different things, can be coffee, can be alcohol, can be gambling, can be cleaning, can be drama, can be, whatever. You can name it. But the thing of an addiction is it's part of our survival and hiding mechanism. So an addiction doesn't succeed when it's exposed, when it's openly expressed. So an addiction needs to be hidden away somewhere where nobody knows. Yeah. So doing that, I take the first step. I allow myself to out myself and say, hey, I have an addiction. and I'm ready to face it. I'm not a victim to it, and I totally have the tools to create alignment. So that said, who brought something today you would like to chew on, something you would like to look at, something you would like to ask, or anything else that you would like to know? I'm totally happy to break it down for you. We have a conversation. Unmute your microphone and ask whatever you want to ask. I can share some slides if you want to. I have a broad library in my head and in my book and stuff that I can share. Who would like to add something into the potpourri? And everything is welcome.
I'd like to chat about something.
Please, Martin.
I'm not sure if I can be very clear about this because you're putting a very positive spin on it, that something that people could judge is offering you a conduit into something greater. And I say apparently I was abused by a man when I was 2 or 3. I say apparently because I have no conscious memory of it whatsoever. But I've worked with loads of people, but I've worked with a few people, and that theme has come up repetitively. There was a seer, a third eye was open in Italy, and she said she saw the whole thing. She wouldn't tell me what happened, but she said there was some form of abuse, and there has been a lot of repressed anger in my life, and all I can say is it's down to something. And I think therefore, if it's true, my first experience sexually would have been an abusive one with a man, totally powerless because he was an adult and I was a baby, virtually. And I have no idea what was imprinted on me at that very tender age. But I find from time to time, like here, this feels like I'm going off on a complete tangent, but I'm not. When I came to Madeira because I had the strangest, I had 3 signs to come here. It was really ridiculous, and I won't even go into it, but it was just something that I had to do. And the minute I landed here, there was a very, almost like a pornographic energy. And I tend to evaluate things a lot, or things come to me, and I think it's because Madeira was part of Atlantis, and Atlantis sunk, and it was I think most of these places that have gone underwater have done so because at some point they lost connection to love, and technology took over, and Babylonian tendencies took over, etc. And I think that's what I was feeling energetically. I'm highly sensitive, and I was going crazy for the first few weeks, and I found myself getting completely caught up in it, looking at porn, which I hadn't done for many years, looking at things like transgenderism, which I intellectually, I don't want to make judgments of it, but to me it's just a bastardization of what is natural in the world. And yet there was something just pulling me in, and it feels like, my sense is that there are lots of transmissions going on at the moment anyway through cell towers, and that we're being bombarded with certain frequencies which are anti-unity frequencies. And I think that's why this stuff is coming up. But nonetheless, what has freaked me out is the fact that clearly there was a resonance in me, and I was getting caught up in that resonance. And I don't know whether it's just related to what happened to me as a child or something else. I've tried fighting it with willpower, and that hasn't. It's like more resistance. Of course, the more you resist, the more it persists. And I don't want to see it as a problem as such, but I thought I would just air it, and I don't really know where to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I think, oh, maybe there's a part of me that's calling to explore other aspects, and then there's another part that just says, "No, not interested. I'm just not going there." I've heard stories of people that defined themselves as gay who took CBS for a year or less and suddenly stopped being gay. And I thought, well, that proves they were never gay in the first place, and that it was something that was injected or whatever. So I don't want to, this is a very sensitive subject. I don't want to say anything that's offensive to anybody here. There's no judgment. It's just my understanding of a lot of these labels in life is that I don't think they're real. I don't think they're original. I think these are things that have been injected or imprinted energetically somehow.
Yeah.
So there's a kind of refusal in me to get too sucked into it, pardon the pun. And I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just expressing that it's been overwhelming, and then it just died away. And then I moved recently on an island somewhere else.
Do you have a question in particular, or would you like me to reflect on something that you said?
What to do with it? Because it's irritating. I don't want to spend my life being bogged down with thoughts that are not. I'm not saying it's all love and light, but just what to do with it.
Yeah.
The theme. Because it's obviously triggering something that I'm acting out rather than coming to peace with.
Yes.
And that's been my big struggle with life, is actually remaining present with feelings.
Yeah.
I invariably don't feel feelings unless people tell me, people who've got that capacity can actually read me and tell me what's going on inside me. So I've numbed myself to life.
Yeah. So just a short reflection, because I'm not here to heal you or heal anybody, because there's actually nothing to heal. And when you see it from that perspective, and I like the way how Peter Levine, the father of somatic experiencing, said that on one point, we all carry a trauma in our system, and from the perspective of Gestalt therapy, we all need to create trauma and traumatic experiences to create our persona and our personality. Yeah, and that happens from early childhood through, teenage into the adolescence. But this is not a life sentence, the development of our personality and structures, and however you want to call it, is there that we all have made it. So these are all, we have all created survival strategies and survival mechanisms. And each and one of us in here had that in our life. And if you want to say so, and I have no access to that yet, is about past life experiences and karma and all that stuff. Zero is just blank, it's nothing in my, it's just like, well, I don't know. Yeah. But the thing is, whatever we have experienced in our upbringing from early age, or maybe before, I don't know, past life, I can't tell, but we are here right now, and that's a fact. Yeah. And that we're here right now, and that's a fact, is an evidence that we all have survived. We have all made it. We can all clap our shoulders and say, wow, we have made it. We come here. We have all come a long way, but we have certain mechanisms and structures inherited that made us to go through. And in the engagement system of somatic consent, I talk about the shadows. And I have the way of seeing shadows as a gift and a superpower, because we needed to develop certain structures and behaviors to become the version that we are today. And instead of beating ourselves up and making ourselves wrong with the way how we relate with the world, we're using that as a structure to see, well, I have just developed all the superpowers. How can I use them to serve life or other people in a better way? And without going too kind of general, what I normally do, and you say you have done a lot of stuff and a lot of work, and have you tried one specific exercise that calls trauma source release exercise?
Yeah, I mean, I've done various things where they work on the psoas muscle for sure.
Yeah.
Not that.
So it is an exercise, and you can reach out to me. I can send you a link. You can practice that on your own, or if you want a one-on-one session, we can do that online where I can guide you through how it works. It's a structure where we bring in compression and a stretch on the psoas muscle, where the psoas muscle in itself send involuntary impulses to your brainstem activity. And it's just like, whenever we have a situation in our life, whatever the situation is, our body tend to, in a lethal experience, to shut down and to freeze, and we carry that on an emotional or what's the word? Cellular level, like a memory. And the same is when we have a certain trauma experiences in our life that we have no access to. Our body, on an emotional level, on a cellular level, has still the memories. Yeah? And this memory is constantly informing our behavior and detecting our environment as safe or not safe, as lethal or thriving. And this exercise that is generating neurogenetic tremors in the brainstem activity that sends signals through your body, specifically back into the psoas muscle, back in the solar plexus and all these energy parts, and releases tension, so holding patterns. And what happens is when this pattern's getting released, the story related to the pattern emotionally and a cellular is just fades away, so we can let go of that grip if we have a traumatic experience in our cellular tissue. So this is a really fantastic exercise. When I work with people one-on-one, before I go deeper into any kind of somatic work, I do this psoas release work that the nervous system can literally let go of holding patterns, and it's absolutely fantastic. And a few of you have done that here. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Anybody would like to share a few words about your experience, what that has done to you, that it's not only me talking? Would you like to share, Christoph?
Yeah, I'm trying to do this exercise like every day, once a day. When it's once a day, once 2 or 3 days, and I'm doing that. When did we start the first time? It was in September, October.
Yeah, half a year ago or something. Yeah.
Half a year, yeah. And now I feel like my nervous system is like stabilized. Like what I was talking about last year is just not a topic anymore. Well, I have new topic now, but the last stuff is just like gone. It's just not present anymore. And also for my body, because it's an exercise, you really use your body and pressure on muscles and so on. I'm like, for example, I'm 2 weeks away from home because I have to work in working through Germany in the 2 weeks, and my body is not exhausted because I do this release. So all the stress I have in the car, like I've been driving like, I don't know, almost 2,000 kilometers in the last 7 days. Normally I have problem with my hips, because I'm always sitting in the car. And since I'm doing this exercise, I don't have anything. It's just like releasing emotionally, and the whole stress I used to have is just gone. And if you add the hand meditation to that, it's just, wow. You have more energy, you have more focus, it's just, wow. And especially the trauma thing is just awesome.
Thank you, Christoph. Anybody else would like to share a few words about your experience with TRE or psoas release?
I can share a bit.
Yes, please.
I have done this exercise sometimes, but I feel I have to be in a very safe space in my life to work with the exercises, because it has a contra effect on me, because I think it's because it gives me some balance and some grounding in my life, even when I have a lot of tension there. But when I then release the tension, I get when there's too much going on in my life and I do not feel um, safe, don't know where things are going, then it's not good for me to make this exercise. So I left them behind. So I worked with a lot of other somatic exercises, very deep facial stretches, and that's easier for me to deal with it. Maybe it's too much to do these psoas exercises, but I don't know. I have been on a workshop where I learned it, and then I done it at home, and I had so much tension after that. I did my ischias and my psoas were really tensed because I was afraid to lose my life on the way, lose the direction or the safeness or something like that. So I do not really know if I should do them again because I still have a lot of tension, or if it's not so good for me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's thanks for sharing that. Yeah, what it needs is literally, as you said, it's an environment where you feel safe enough to just let go of different things. And if you're on your own and you're getting flooded with your own emotions, it can be counterproductive. So it's just good to do that in the first place with somebody who knows what they're doing. But then if you have access to that, I found it by coincidence on my own and recognized that this is an entire healing method. And I just studied it a few years back. And part of that is as well, we all carry an armor or a protection shield around us. And this protection shield is part of our survival mechanism, to some degree. And if you would take this shield, this protection shield away, and you have no access to put it back on when you need it, it's dangerous. Keep your armor when you need it, but have the option and possibility to take the armor down when you are in a safe enough environment. And then the question is how to create that safe enough environment. Anybody else would like to share a few words about their experience?
Yes.
Please.
Also to have some clarity. Since 2016, I learned the TAIs technique, and since that moment, usually when I'm in stress, after I had a stressed moment, and I have the occasion to lie down, my body automatically alone start to tremble, to like release tremble. It's like epilepsy, but and for me this is a release of stress. When I tried in 2021 to make for many days TRI alone, I felt that I was overstressing my nervous system and it stopped. And then I don't know very well what you say when you go to the psoa, it's through the anus. It is how you reach the psoa. It's a question.
How you reach it, how you want to reach it when you touch it.
Yes, through the anus.
Well, there are different ways. You can work through the belly, so externally, and then there are internal de-armoring mechanisms where you can touch, well, literally the part where the psoas is just like clicking on the upper leg. But this is I would not recommend to do that on your own. Just do that with an experienced practitioner.
So then you do through here.
Yeah, externally, but that as well. The Thai Chinai Sang method is just really good for that. But still, do that only with somebody who knows what they're doing, because there are a lot of organs who are just very, very fragile.
So with awareness on the place of psoa, because I'm massaging my belly since I'm 50, 20, 30 years at least. So, but I'm not still aware when I'm going to the so and now I feel it because it's between the legs and but I never work consciously on that and I'm curious to know more.
Yep, we can break that down on another level. So Martin, did you pick anything up that we said that was valuable for you that you could implement in what you shared?
Not really.
Not really, okay.
Well, it got a bit confusing. I mean, I was picking up the warning signs because my nervous system is highly vigilant, and
Yes.
you know, hearing from a couple of people who also said it was just too much. I'm not saying no, but I hear what you say that perhaps it's not so much whether I do it with someone. For me, the problem has always been whenever I leave any kind of therapist and I'm on my own and I get triggered, I can't always hold that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's not just going to spend an hour with somebody professional. It's can they be with me when the shit hits the fan?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's possible. Even if I came and worked with you, for example, I don't know whether you offer that kind of like a retreat thing or whatever. I don't know if I'm making myself clear.
Yeah.
I'm wary, and I feel like I would need support to come through it.
Yeah, you know, giving a healing promises that doing it once and everything is good would be misguiding or misleading, and I would never do that. And the person I trained that with, he said just like you need to do 50 or something like that over a year, so once a week, that you're getting all the tension out of your body. And it's good to start that with somebody knowing what they're doing, and when you know how to access it, that you actually have access to your own self-regulating mechanism in your brainstem activity. So this part that is regulating your heartbeat and your breath is the same part in your nervous system that is this holding pattern of freeze, is the so-called dorsal vagus activity that holds a grip on freeze in the nervous system. And when you know how to access that kind of gradually and you can let go, it's just like it's freedom and liberation. And it's definitely worth a try, because you can choose how far you want to go and you can stop it at any time. Yeah, it's, let's say it from that perspective. When you see an animal, a mammal, having, a lethal situation, shutting down, freezing, ready to die, and they're literally, the nervous system is out, and breath has stopped, the heart might beats, but all of a sudden the threat is over, and the mammal's nervous system is actually recognizing it's safe again. It's just like you can, this is shutting down for a reason, that you don't feel pain in the face of death. Yeah. But if death is not happening, your nervous system has this reset, reboot mechanism. Your heart starts beating again, your breath goes, and then you just go into this shake, and then just like, okay, what's going on? And then you can run, or the animal can run again. Yeah. This mechanism is a built-in structure that we have as mammals, as humans as well. And this is what this exercise does. It's just like gets the grip of this holding pattern kind of out of the way, so that you have access to use it whenever you want to. And it belongs to you, and it's not a therapeutic thing that anybody can magically do to you or on you. It's a built-in mechanism that belongs to you, like your breath.
Well, I'm willing to give it a go.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else has anything else? Can be pretty much everything.
Okay, I wanted to let say someone new want to enter, and because otherwise I go, but I want to give space to new people. If nobody enter in 30 seconds, I will.
3, 2, 1, sold. It's yours. Speak.
So I would like to. You are an expert about the pleasing, the nice guy, because I realized more and more. I thought it's going away to have solved something. I solved nothing. I am giving away myself to in every situation till I don't become hysteric. This work, family. Now I realize with my mom that I'm doing whatever she needs, and lately I realized that also she used my mind. I let her use my mind. So she will ask, I take the sticks, I eat the banana, I do this, I do that, and what the fuck? It's also my brain. Not only I'm doing everything, cooking, washing, buying, but also my brain. And then that's I'm seeing all the situations where I give it too much without taking care of me. And I'm realizing that I am me. I'm not pointing finger to anybody. It's me that allow the others. And I'm so empathic that if someone give me, propose me to pay me for my work, and then it's coming like I don't have the situation is change. I don't have any more the money to pay you. I give it for free. It's my work. So I'm fucked up. And it's in all situation I see that I have open, I do the same. And then I understand that my system at some point says I wanna die. I wanna die and I cannot and this emotion that come out, it is strong when at a certain point it's like, hey, you need to do something, you cannot give away everything, and then it became Hyde, the Jekyll and Hyde that the songs that I'm singing, finally I can sing it. This gives me pleasure because 25 years ago it was not possible, and I've been there, and now it's in my chord. It's coming out. Hide.
So pleasing and appeasing is a survival oppression that you have learned to belong and to be loved. Yeah. I can say that so many times, but that doesn't change it, right? But the acceptance and the acknowledgement that this is, specifically with your mom in the situation you're in is, she has helped you to build this appeasing and pleasing survival mechanism. Yes. Yeah. So she is part of the creation.
Then is in the situation that I am taking care of her, but at this point my system is start to freak out. But not just for her, because I see all the other situation, and she's the one is with me. So then I scream, and then I feel guilt. The other stuff that of reinforcing the thing, because fuck what I'm doing, and I sense of guilt and accusation, auto criticize myself for what I'm doing because she's old and everything is going. So
I can't, of course, tell you to play the 3-minute game with your mum in Italian or in any other language. This probably would go wrong. She would do it. I mean, this is what you could do. You can play the 3-minute game, just for the sake of it. I played it with my mum, and she was freaking out because she could not handle that thing that she had to do stuff for herself, and I was doing stuff for myself. Just like, this is wrong. The wrongness comes up in the nervous system. It's just like this strangeness. But the dynamic is, you are going in action for her, or you're going in action for others, and that has saved my life. Just like, if there is no request coming from the outside, there is no action.
It's impossible because my mom has difficulty to walk, so I just feel, I see what she needs, and I'm doing, because I don't. What I say, she have problem, with blocking me. The fact is not like a person that is autonomous.
You
she doesn't do it too much.
You are well trained. She has totally trained you very. So enjoy it. You will not break free from that with your mom ever. You know, your entire survival mechanism of your mind, your entire structure, the way how you think and the way how you operate, on the not safe side of the nervous system, the appeasing mechanism, going along and suppressing yourself and being nice, this is all in there. Just enjoy it because there's nothing to heal.
I don't understand very well. You are ironic? What?
Yes, well, in a way, the thing is, if you want to break that pattern in total, I have seen your hand, Christoph. 1 second. If you want to break that pattern in total, you tell your mom, if you don't ask me for anything and I don't have the space and time to give an honest response, I don't do any action anymore. If
At least in this last week, because then I will bring to Italy. I will try.
Yeah. So, mom, I mean, you have to do that for yourself. You have to make the decision first, and then you have to communicate that with her and tell her, hey, mom, you can ask me anything. Just lost something I noticed. You can ask me anything, but if you don't ask me for anything, there's no action. I'm not doing anything. Yeah. And if you ask me for something, I will just feel into that. Yeah. This is the go-to thing. All right. Christopher, anything towards Davide or anything that related to that, what he said?
Yeah, if Davide is okay with that, I would like to share some experience to illustrate what he's going through and how shitty it is. So if it's okay for you, David, I would reflect on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm like a people pleaser too, and it's the same like Matt said, to be loved, to be seen, you had to do some stuff and whatever. So, and I started to realize some weeks ago, it's very fresh, that I wanted to be there for my girlfriend, but I didn't have the capacity myself. And so we had a call and we got into a fight. And I felt I wanted to write her. I can't speak right now because I was in kind of a process myself. And I didn't because I was a people pleaser. So when my girlfriend is calling, so I'm answering, you know. And so I came to realize also what Matt is saying about the self-care and self-love, you know. When you don't have the capacity, it's just programmed to be a catastrophe. For me at first, and for the other person probably, because I'm not present for the person. So I'm not doing it like I mean it. And I don't know how women do that, but they feel that better than men somehow. I have the feeling. And my girlfriend said that every time. And then I have another example. The last days I went to a friend for 4 days, and at some point I told Matt about that. She's also a people pleaser, and I was at her home and I wanted to help and she didn't want. And Matt said to me, "You just have to say, if you want me to do something, you have to ask." And I did that. And the interesting part was that I was like every second looking and hearing if she would need something, and she would whisper like, "I need some help," or well, you know, like a small mouse in the corner and just whispering. And I was on alert, like I can't do that. I can't just say, if you need, you have to ask. If you don't, I will not do anything. And after like 2 days of doing that, it felt like kind of relieving for me. And after those 4 days, I asked her if it was really okay for her that I didn't do anything like in the kitchen and so on. And she said, "Yeah, I like it to do it for you and for us, and it's really okay." And it was like really relaxing for her too, instead of me being in the kitchen with her. It's a small kitchen, she doesn't like it. And so I realized all that stuff is just so hard to get over it because I've been doing it like the last over 40 years and I just don't know how it works. So I just did it, but I have to learn a lot how to do it.
Mm.
That's what I wanted to share. I don't know if it's helping you or resonating somehow, but it's a shitty situation because people feel are just programmed to do that. So the same at work, and what I wanted to share also is when you do that with your mother or I do with my girlfriend, I do it at work too. I'm pleasing customers when I say you're so dumb, you know, um, and overall you are just so in stress because you are doing it every second with everybody, and you're not getting anything at that, and your customer, your mother, your family, whatever, is not getting anything neither because you are just thinking, you are just not present, you don't have the capacity to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get out of this system, and it's a hard one. I'm done. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, there is this quote from Buckminster Fuller, and thank you, Christopher. There is this quote from Buckminster Fuller saying, "You can't repair or fix an existing system by trying to change it. You need to create a new one that makes the old one obsolete. And as long you don't have a new functional structure how you engage when pleasing stresses you, this survival mechanism is just a pattern that grabs you because it's the only thing you have. It's like a crutch, and you can't take the crutch away if you can't walk. But if you know that this is part of, a pleasing mechanism, and you make that decision, that choice from yourself, from an embodied place, that if there is no request, I'm not going in action. Because there's no duty, there's no obligation, there is no have to, there is no, this is a conditioned mechanism that we all have put in our body to belong, But if you have this structure in, and it starts with this little object, you're in action for yourself, and then if somebody else wants me to go in action for them, my go-to is I do lip reading, or I do good guessing, or like try to figure out their mind, what they really want. Just like this is all part of being trained like a dog, When you apply that in your life, I'm only going into action if somebody asks me to, or I make the choice for somebody else. What is a complete different thing. Because you can only make a choice, an empowered choice, to support and serve others if you know how to support and serve yourself first. Because you need to fill your cup up first before you can help somebody to fill up their cup. And I say that very often. This is the same thing like you're sitting in an airplane, Just like before you put the mask on other people, put it on yourself first, All right, so we have 10 minutes left. There is probably more to talk. If anybody has a really burning iron or something that needs to put out, then this is the opportunity.
I don't know 100% if I really need to share it, but I'm noticing I'm having some thoughts listening, and maybe it's just to try.
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
It changed so much, like when you said that now, like first you need to feel yourself before you feel someone else, kind of. I didn't resonate with that now. I just feel like it's the same. I'm just sitting here a little bit with my thoughts. I'm just like looking at, this bit, but this bit.
Yeah, I've a German engineering mind, yeah, and that's the reason why I've created a system. The system is not complete and it's not total, but it has been working very well so far. And, from that system, like you see that in a pyramid, you have the lower part of the pyramid, what is the foundation? And that foundation is self-love and self-care. Self-love and self-care needs to be in place first before you can actually, as I said, that you need to know how to fill up your own cup before you can literally fill up other people's cup. It's just the nature, It's the same thing with co-regulation, dysregulation, and self-regulation. If you cannot self-regulate, you actually probably use other people to co-regulate. So self-regulation is part of self-care and self-love, and that starts with touching and feeling. Just like can you reach out and make connection and touch? Can you grab your cup of tea and drink? Can you put something in your mouth and eat? And so otherwise you just starve to death. So this is self-love and self-care. We are all trained like little dogs that we have to do good in order to belong, love and care for others. We have to provide that we actually be accepted. And that's so deep that we neglect ourselves so hardly that we actually feel guilty when we do self-love and self-care. That
Like, I don't find that it resonates so much to think like that for me now. I have thought like it have helped me to think like that, but it doesn't like serve me now. And I think that's a little bit the general theme that I'm seeing is like happening in me also, like when I'm sitting here listening.
for example, mother love and father love, and for each and one of you who has children here knows that, just like these little beings, they need a lot of love and care. Yeah. And being a mother or a father myself with 3 kids who are already adults, I know how it is. I would love to do self-care and sleep, but I know how more important it is to care and love for my child first, and then I take care of myself and others. Yeah, I think this is just like part of the show. But in life, when I've been working with so many mothers, with so many women who have been trained like a service station, without being capable just even a little bit to do self-love and self-care, because there was always another person first. And to retrain that and come back into your body and say, okay, I value myself and I honor myself and I care for myself in the first place. It's a massive change for many people to go into that place. It does not resonate in the first place when I say that. It's just they think I speak another language.
I hear you. What I just want to say is like, it's almost like, it's like the things, the words we use, the mental images that we have, that you use to explain, like language, is like tools, and like every tool can be used good or bad.
Oh yeah, big time.
For me, like right now, thinking about myself first, so it just doesn't resonate. It has resonated to think that, but it just doesn't anymore. But I think that's the general thing with me.
Can I reflect something back for you, Rickard?
Yeah, please.
I know you since, I don't know, 3-4 years or longer. I can't really tell. So we know quite a while, and I've seen you developing and evolving as a man and as a human, and I appreciate the way how you actually show up in the world and the way how you operate in what you do. And the first time when I started to have conversation with you, I thought you are a really selfish prick, and you have been only putting yourself in the first place, and you were just like an egomaniac. And to see you now, you have changed so much, and that you have let go of this behavior. Yeah, me, myself, and I first, and I don't care about anybody else. You have you have entered, in my perception, a space where you actually don't put yourself so much on the first place, where you actually take care and love for others. And that's a good place to be.
Thank you.
So I just want to share that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I just want to say that, like, I thought a little bit about that also because I feel like I have pretty easy to think about myself. But like since I was young, when I was like 7 years old, I had a friend who was very like extremely selfish, and today he has his whole face with tattoos and has been to prison like 3 times, and we're the same age. And we were like really good friends. We were really tight, but it was like I was always the pleaser, and I was always the thinking about, because that's the family I come from. Like always thinking about someone else and everyone else responding to your needs before you even can feel them almost.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I learned from like relating with him for a couple of years, maybe, that I kind of learned to think about myself like from that relationship, I think.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for sharing, Rickard. So I would like to bring it to completion for today. I would like to ask you to take an object back in the hands. I was playing this entire time we're sitting here with the object, and I'm staying constantly in connection. And that's the invitation for you to just do it more, play more. And while you listening to the last words that I'm saying, I would like to invite you to tap back into this sensual pleasure in your hands just for a moment, and just feeling and sensing while you keep your eyes open and you keep your ears open and just listening. And we have been talking about different subjects in the last hour or so, and some of them might have been resonating with you and some of them maybe didn't. Some of them need more information, and some of them you just might want to just like chop off. That's totally okay. But that what has been resonating with you and what was valuable for you, just have a quick look inside yourself. What was resonating, and what is it that you would like to make yours? Yeah. So what has a value for you that has nothing to do with me or anybody else, is something that you take with you, something that is valuable to you. And whatever that is, I would like to ask you to share just a few words. What was your main aha, or what is your main takeaway from that call? And who would like to start? Just a few words.
I can start.
Please.
I like the idea to build a new system because I'm so sick of the old one, and I'm going to build my own system right now.
Yeah.
I'll start it, but I need to stick with it. I feel better with that, and I think it's a good way. Yeah.
Thanks, Christoph.
Yeah, I was invited from Christoph, and we know each other 2 years, I think. Yeah, 2 years. And I was absolutely not prepared what will come this evening, but it gives me a lot of maybe ideas, maybe new thinkings, and maybe thinkings about to change some some time of my day with more love for me and with more time for me. And I think it was a good evening. It was good to see you and to take the impressions here.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you too.
Who's next?
Yes, I want to share that I will do this exercise with the hands sensing, and I'm also giving treatments, so I will use that in my treatments too. And then I think I will try to give it another try with the somatic, this psoas release exercise, but yeah, in very calm, quiet way, so I can find out if it's work for me. Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you for today.
Thank you.
I would say the main thing I've come away with is that you appear to be a man who, like me, likes simple and fast fixes, if they're possible.
Mm.
And you're a resource that I'll tap into. I'll reach out to you privately. I'll send you an email.
Mm.
For me, it's just about having another resource that maybe I can use to fix my nervous system and hopefully tinnitus. So yeah, just as grateful for that.
Mm.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for joining.
The takeaway, it is, I don't feel stupid because I want to be loved and belong. At least but I want to stop to give away myself to be loved and belong. And I will try really now tonight also, because I need to clarify something with my mom. I will do just things when you ask me. I will not do it before you ask, and then I will also feel I can do in this moment or not. Thank you.
Mm.
To remind me.
Cool. Thanks.
I'm quite empty in my mind, so I have nothing.
This is a good sign when your mind is empty. Thanks, Elegant. Rickard, last but not least.
Thanks. I take with me that tools are stepping stones to the heart.
Mm. Mm. Thank you.
And grateful for the hand meditation.
Mm. Thank you. All right. So some of you are already in the academy. So as I said, that this is part of a weekly call, 90 minutes, and the other calls we dive really deep. There's no subject that we're not talking or touching. We're talking from relationship to God. We talk about death. We just talk about professionalism in all kind of ways, nervous system regulation, trauma, pleasure, orgasm. We talk about everything in relationship to the dynamic of the somatic consent engagement system. And if you would like to join, there is, please feel free to reach out. I don't run after anybody to just ask you to join. There is a 1 month for free to join, and then it costs, 400 euros for an entire year. There are courses, and the entire shebang you find on the academy, and you're more than welcome to join. So you know how to find me, so you found the link to arrive here, and if that resonates with you, what we do and who I am, then you feel more than welcome to join. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope it was valuable for you. And if you want more, there is more. And I'm happy to share. And I wish you a wonderful evening and love yourself. Ciao for now.